Today, in r/malicious compliance, boss tried to be slick changing my employment, ended up having to pay me more than what he thought. Hope everyone reading this is safe and healthy. Now, to give some background for the story, I was working as a legal assistant at a small law firm, but started off as the receptionist. This was a job I could get straight out of college while I give myself some time to adjust to adulting life and getting ready to apply to graduate law school. He fired a coworker over asking for a higher raise and immediately told me I was going to take over. The law firm has 8 employees and has a high turnover rate, and I didn't realize until a couple of months ago. My boss is a stereotypical boomer and gloats about how he was in the army, how he's a ladies' man, even though his wife is literally our office manager and doesn't train his employees, even though he forces his employees to sign a contract saying they will have to pay $2,500 if they don't complete 1 year. Over the past months, he has tried to say my work is terrible, even though I used all of his templates and had to correct him with information I received from the court on how to do these exact family pleadings, and I have closed cases that have been with us for years in the span of 3 months. Blames me for being rude to clients, even though the clients told him it was not me and was another coworker who he showed favoritism to, and consistently asks me if I found the right man would I be with that man after he met my girlfriend at the firm's annual holiday party. There's a lot more, but too much to write. Overall, he hated anything about me, and my coworkers would often have to vouch for me because he would take out his anger on me. Because of this, I made sure to always send mails of our conversations and clarify things in order to keep track of all the shortcomings and issues. I even had a meeting with my officer manager and documented the fact that I wasn't trained by sending a follow-up mail and screenshotting an email where they made me train a new person 1 week after I started. Someone please tell me if this looks like adequate training. 3 weeks ago, he changed my contract to being a non-essential employee and told my coworker before she quit that he lessened my hours because of my poor work and anything I did could be sent by mail or email. He often rushes through his work and leaves a lot of loopholes in his contract. So, malicious compliance. The contract said that I would be a non-essential employee, and by the way he wrote it, he capped phone calls at 5 of an hour, but I would get paid $15 per call, $45 for each family packet I did, and $15 per mail correspondence. So I did a couple of family pleading packets, but kept my coworkers in the loop, and they told my boss that they were busy with other things and asked if I could make the calls. They know I am the only one in my household working and felt the contract was terrible. I also asked them how they would read the contract, and they interpreted it in the same way I had, since I was deemed non-essential, and he could not be bothered to draft a letter letting me go into the office. I had to send various emails for him to print. When he would ask for me to place items on his desk, I referenced my contract stating I was a non-essential employee and could risk a fine jail time. I ended up making so many calls. Always tried to make them as long as possible by asking clients how are they and hearing them complain about what's going on and how difficult it will be for them to make payments at this time. That when I sent my hours to my office manager, she called my boss and asked to verify hours and explain. I explained and broke it down with my contract. My boss couldn't be bothered to go back to his email and asked me to forward the contract. At that point, it took them forever to respond, and I was eagerly awaiting their response. He attempts to spin it back and change the wording of my contract to say each call was only $75 and each correspondence was $150. This would essentially make my paycheck only less than $100, even though I had originally been paid $15 an hour and had worked 50 hours in the past 2 weeks. At that point, I sent my resignation and screenshots of all the times I asked how they want the timesheet sent along with the governor's stay-at-home order for non-essential employees. He attempted to change the story to say that I was an essential employee and finally offered to give me a letter, but at that point, I had already sent my resignation. After reading my email referencing the contract, lack of training, and mentioning the conversation with his wife, he conceded, made an agreement that I was leaving on good terms, and is giving me the wages I deserve. Moral of the story: document everything and follow up. I have a second round interview, so please wish me luck. It's a hard time, but we'll get through it. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, smash the bell, and whatever else our YouTube overlords require nowadays.